Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Ice Cold Jones in the building. We got Adrian in the building. Yes, sir. YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on trade targets. I got 12 trade targets, and I got a couple bonus guys too. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel, get your consultation, sign up as a Phenom member, and get your free consultation. Yes, sir. What's going on, Ninja? What's going on, Ninja? I see you, bruh. Yes, sir. Okay, guys, so while the chat is getting going, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the content. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. This is cutting edge content. We're gonna reflect, we're gonna recap. So guys, anything you have about any players, put it in the comment section. When I get to the question, I'll read it and we'll recap. But I'm not gonna just go through the games myself. So I'm gonna let y'all dictate the live. So if you put, hey TD, what did you think about Jamison Williams? TD, what did you think about Derrick Henry? What did you think about Lamar? Put it in the comment section and I'll get to it. Okay. So the first trade target that I want to talk about, guys, is going to be Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. So we know that Brian Thomas Jr. was a top 10, top 12 NFL draft pick in the first round. So with that saying, and he broke out his rookie season with Matt Jones. We got to raise up Matt Jones too. Brian Thomas, guys, is going to be okay. Trevor Lawrence is probably right now is not the quarterback for him, but they're going to have to make it work. This is the NFL. So when they in practice, when they in the meetings, they are talking about how to get Brian Thomas Jr. the ball so he can make moves and have a breakout year as a second-year wide receiver like he did his first year. So, guys, Brian Thomas Jr. Is going to change. So right now, you can get him on pennies on the dollar. Go get this guy, stash him on your team, and then you can play him whenever you need him. Whenever you start seeing him playing good, you can start him tonight if you need. Whatever you may need, guys, you will have Brian Thomas Jr. on your team. So I would get off some of these guys who are playing out of their mind, like a Quentin Johnson. Some of these guys, if you don't need them, if they are flex plays for you, you can go get Brian Thomas Jr., who was a top 5 wide receiver last year, who's going to get the targets, been getting the targets, and things are going to change. So I would rather have this guy on my team than some of these average players who's playing out of their mind. So stash, or not stash, I'm sorry. Go try to acquire Brian Thomas Jr. You can get him for the low right now. Tim J says, any news on the Hampton injury? He's on IR. He's going to be out for 4 weeks with that ankle. So go stash Kamani Vidal. Go stash Kamani Vidal. All right, moving on to my number 2 guy. It's going to be CeeDee Lamb. Yes, CeeDee Lamb, guys. And this is a professional move. So right now, you could say, well, CeeDee Lamb, I don't know when he's going to come back. Is he going to be 100% healthy? Well, it doesn't matter. If you are a team that's 5-0, 4-1, something like that, you can afford to go get CeeDee Lamb and wait for him to come back. And then you got a stud at your wide receiver 2 spot. You already probably got a stud. You probably already got a JSN or somebody. So now you can go take some of these backup running backs that you have, like a Rico Dowdle or anybody like that, and go get CeeDee Lamb for an owner who's struggling. And now when CeeDee get back with Dak Prescott playing the way he is, now you got a championship winning team. That's how you trade and buy low on players. Now, listen, I'm not a big trader because usually I'm already stashing players that's going to come into a different quadrant and start breaking out. But I know y'all like to trade, so I'm going to give y'all trade targets, and that's what CeeDee Lamb is. This is a great buy low opportunity or trade. I don't like to say buy low. I like to say trade. Ninja says, will you trade Cam Scat for Brian Thomas Jr.? If I don't need Scatterbo, if Scatterbo is just a guy that I can put in my flex or I can put another guy in my flex, yeah, I would trade Cam Scatterbo for Brian Thomas Jr. if I got running back depth. Hell yeah, that's a good move. All right, going on to my number 3 guy is going to be Bashal Tutin. Bashal Tutin. Now, the main reason, guys, is Travis Etienne has never played a 17-game season. Everything that's going on right now is not what's going to be going on tomorrow. So you have to think about the future. Travis Etienne could go down. What is Bashal Tutin going to be if Travis Etienne goes down? A league winner. There's no Big Tank Bigsby there anymore. So do not be dropping no Bashal Tutin. A lot of you ask me, TD, should I drop Bashal Tutin? Why in the hell would you drop Bashal Tutin when he's going to be, if anything happens to Travis Etienne, Bashal Tutin is going to be a top 5 running back. The way this offensive line has been blocking, the way Travis Etienne is balling, it ain't just Travis Etienne being the best runner in the whole NFL, which he's a good runner, but Bashal Tutin looks good too. He's breaking tackles according to PFF. He's looking good. So stash Bashal Tutin or go buy him. You know, right? So, this is not a stash, but if you already got these guys, you keep them on your team. Don't trade these guys away because these guys are going to have really good roles. All right, moving on to my number 4 guy. It's going to be Caleb Williams. Listen, it's still a buying opportunity to get Caleb Williams. So if you have guys like Justin Fields who can struggle, even though he had a great fantasy output, I don't think Justin Fields is going to be the starter the whole season, right? I've said that plenty of times. There's a couple other quarterbacks out here that's not playing that well. Try to go get Caleb Williams if you have depth on your team at the running back position or the wide receiver or even a tight end. Then you can go get Caleb Williams and have a player with that type of ability who can make big plays. So that's why I love Caleb Williams. I think this is a league-winning type move for the quarterback position. Now, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there. You can stream them, but I would rather have a guy like Caleb Williams who's going to run around and make big plays. And is going to make a difference on your team. Like some quarterbacks have big-time boom potential. And with Caleb Williams' rushing ability, that's big-time boom potential. That can win you a week. Boom win weeks, not safe floors. All right, going on to my number 5 guy. My number 5 guy is going to be Alvin Kamara. What's going on, Tron? It's going to be Alvin Kamara. And the reason why I love Alvin Kamara, guys, he's probably gonna get traded. So you can buy this guy low because nobody wants him. Everybody know that Kendre Miller is eating into his workload, but you can go get Alvin Kamara right now for the cheap, and then next thing you know, he gets traded to Kansas City, or he gets traded to this team, or he gets traded to that team. Any team that he gets traded to, they're gonna use him. They're not gonna use him as no third down back. They're gonna use this guy. Now he might not get all the carries, but he's gonna get premium touches. So go get Alvin Kamara right now before we hear more rumors about him getting traded. Because when people start hearing rumors about him getting traded, they're going to charge you to get him. They're going to be like, man, I need a second, or I need this. And they're like, bruh, you weren't even on him. You said you was about to drop him. Now you didn't hear that he's going to get traded. You trying to charge me an arm and a leg. So go ahead and do that now, today, this week, next couple of days, and you can get him for the low. All right, let's move on to my number 6 guy. My number 6 guy is going to be Brock Bowers. Yes, Brock Bowers. Now, listen, the tight end position for the studs, they're not playing that well. Trey McBride, it's not that he's not playing well, but he didn't have the fantasy output that we wanted. But that's okay. Brock Bowers, he's been hurt, so let him heal up. He's probably going to have to heal up for 2 or 3 weeks. That's okay. Look, you probably got a lot of depth on your team. Go get a guy like Brock Bowers. That way, when he comes back and he has that 12-target game, then you can go, you got trade capital that you can trade and get another player, or you got a stud tight end who's playing like a wide receiver. He just been injured. He got injured the first game. So people are saying he's not playing well. Well, guess what? We've seen running backs get nicked up early, and then once they get healthy, they start booming again. And that's the same thing that's going on with Brock Bowers. So this is a great buy low opportunity, or go trade for Brock Bowers. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's see. Number 7. My number 7 guy is going to be Zach Charbonnet. Yes, Zach Charbonnet, guys. And so this is the reason why I like Zach Charbonnet. I've never disrespected Kenneth Walker and said he couldn't play. But the thing is, the role that he got is disgusting. You can't count on it. You need him to make a big play. He might come out the game and they on the 1-inch line. He might wave out the guy, hey, I'm hurt, my ankle. You're like, what the hell is going on? Why is Charbonnet coming in the game and it's a mess. So the player that you okay with having on and playing is Charbonnet because you lower your expectations because you know he's the backup. But then he's coming out and giving you touchdown upside. But what is Kenneth Walker doing that we drafted in the third or fourth round? Not getting touches here. We hoping for a big play. Oh, he did it this week, but the next week he goes back down again. Like, it's too volatile. I get rid of those type of people, and I'm talking about in real life. As you learn and you get older, you got to get rid of these volatile people. You know what I'm saying? You want people who are consistent. Now, listen, nobody's going to be perfect. Jamar Chase is not perfect. Your best friend is not perfect. But you know what you can do with your best friend? You can count on, you can call that person or she, and you know where they stand, right or wrong. We don't know what Kenneth Walker's saying. I don't know if what he's going to do from week to week. If I knew that he was a second down back, that's fine. Then I could draft him accordingly. But right now, I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's in a mask or what it is. I'm trying to give you a metaphor, guys, but you cut people out of your life that you can't trust. My guys that I draft on my team that's starting, I can trust them. Listen, DK Metcalf, you can say, well, you can't trust DK. Yes, I can. I can trust DK Metcalf to have low-end games for 2 or 3 weeks and then go 40-point, 50-point. I grant he didn't did it every single year of his career. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And he's tough. I know who you is. I know who you are. As long as I know who you are, I can draft you. I don't turn nothing down but my collar. But I will turn you down if I don't know if you're going to rob me, if you're going to do something to me. And Kenneth Walker, I don't know what he's going to do. So at that draft ADP level, at the third round, no. That's why I've been telling y'all. And I have to go on these rants because y'all don't understand. Like, TD, it's Kenneth Walker. He's one of the most explosive running backs and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you come here. TD, should I play Kenneth Walker this week? So like I said, guys, if you got any questions about any players, put it in the comment section and we're going to get to it. We can reflect. I'm not going to go through all the games, but whatever you put in, I'm going to address it and tell you how you should be feeling moving forward. Because a couple players that I'm a staple of that I want to mention them, but I want y'all to put it in the comment section because I don't necessarily have it wrote down, but there's a couple players that I do want to talk about. So, like I said, y'all put it in the comment section. But let's move on. My next guy, my number 8 guy, is going to be Davante Adams. Listen, you want to be a part of this offense. As long as Matthew Stafford, who is the engine, I said what I said, he's the engine of this team. Sean McVay is the driver. Puka is the special edition car, like, well, whatever. But Davante Adams is I don't know, I don't read out a metaphor, but he's very important to this machine. And Davante Adams is the touchdown machine. So you want to have this guy. And people, Davante Adams, he's the number 2. If you are struggling at the wide receiver position, but you got B. John and you got CMC, but your wide receivers are struggling, and you got a good third running back or fourth running back that you can use, but it's hard to get him in, go get a Davante Adams and let him be on wide receiver 1, and he's going to have some breakout games. We know that Puka's never played a 17-game season. So he's never played a 17-game season, even though Puka's having a fantastic breakout type, re-breakout. Like, it's crazy. He's the number 1 wide receiver ever to do this. But that doesn't mean Davante Adams can't be a top 12 wide receiver on most weeks. So that's why I'm telling you to go buy on Davante Adams. Next is number 9 is going to be Lamar Jackson. Yes, Lamar Jackson. Hey, some of my moderators, if you see weird comments, like some of them is okay. If they just saying something about a hairstyle, that's okay. But if they start getting weird and saying bad, negative stuff in the comments, you know, like that right there, like, take that out of there. The last comment that was gone, moderator. That's why I made you a moderator. If you're not gonna do moderator stuff, I can find somebody else to be a moderator. I got a lot of people that want to be a moderator. So, all right. But yeah, Lamar Jackson, guys. The reason why I believe in Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, guys, when he comes back, this team is going to take off. Don't you know that according to Las Vegas, they still are predicted to win this division after that game they just had? Because Lamar changes up everything. The defense will play better. Roquan Smith is coming back. Kyle Hamilton is coming back. The only guy might be out is their defensive line. Senor Rojas says, yes, you dropped Jacory Krosky-Merritt. Yes, I did in the league that I got 4 bench spots on. You gotta win weekly. I didn't have a tight end. So I'm not gonna lose a game to save Jacory Krosky-Merritt that I'm not even starting. So you have to, it's different strategy for different leagues. That's why I always tell y'all, the power is yours. You know your league. I need context. That's why I hate telling you, well, just do this and do this. I don't know your league. So you telling me to make this move, I'm gonna tell you to do it the way I would do it in my league, and I don't know no essence of what's going on in your league. So you have to know essence and what each league is. Some leagues, you gotta have a good quarterback to win, because the way the points are structured. Some leagues, you gotta have good running backs. Some leagues, you don't have to start tight ends. It's just all in what you need to do in order to win. And remember, I'm a winner. So ain't nothing above me winning, because you got to get there. Jacory Krosky-Merritt is not me dropping a Lamar or somebody like that who's going to kill the integrity of my team. He's just a guy that, hey, did I know he could play ball? Did I know he was going to have some good games? Yes. Did I know it was going to be this week? No, I did not. And I try to get him. If I don't, hey, I'm going to keep it moving. It's more, hey, listen, there's a lot of fish out there in the sea. It's a lot of fish, like my dad always told me. It ain't just one girl out here for you. Don't be stuck on no one girl. Don't be stuck on no one breakup. It's somebody else out there, so somebody else gonna break out too. So yeah, Lamar Jackson, guys, this is a great time to go get him. People, I don't know, man. That team sucks. You got to do it now, though. You got to do it now. So if I got a player like Drake May, and I'd even go down Kyler Murray, some of these guys, like, man, they disappoint me. They're not giving me my upside. I'm going to get Lamar. I'm going to get Lamar, especially if I got depth, right? Dynasty, yes, I'm going to spend 2 first rounds. You ain't got to spend that 3rd one right now. You know, usually Lamar costs you 3 first rounds. You can get him for 2 first rounds right now. So go buy the dip. Go buy the dip. Moving on to number 10, I'm going to talk about his counterpartner. This is Derrick Henry. And listen, I'm going to address something with Lamar real quick. I do not like how he talked to Derrick Henry. If I was Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry does have respect. If I was Derrick, I would say, Lamar, we're going to talk when we get out of here. I'm not going to address you right now, because we don't need no bad, negative, nothing on this team right now. They already talking about us winning. So if I was Derrick, I'd call him into the office and say, listen, man, don't you ever address me in front of him like that. Like, I'm Derrick Henry too. I might not be you, Lamar. This is your team, and I respect. If I mess up, you get on me, but you respect me. You don't get on me in front of people. Same thing about it would, like, if I have a son. Say his friends come over and my son does something really, really weird, really crazy. Now, if this is his first time, if he's been doing this for a long, long, long time and he's trying to, like, disrespect me, I might call him out in front of his friends. But mostly I'm going to wait, and I'm going to pull him to the side and say, hey, buddy, what's going on? Because he needs respect from his friends. If I disrespect him in front of my friends, those guys are going to disrespect him and try to gaslight him and try to manipulate him, too, off of what I did and said. So I'm not going to give him a bone. Lamar gave people a bone to try to disrespect Derrick Henry and saying he's having a bad year because Lamar's not even supporting him. You going over in front of the cameras and talking about, come on, man, let's go. Lamar, I didn't see you drop the ball, and I don't mean that literally. I didn't see you have fumbles. I didn't see you miss throws. You're not perfect. So when Derrick Henry is having a 200-yard game, what if he come over there and call you out and say, listen, you ain't want to, come on, man, we got to win the Super Bowl. You ain't doing it right now. How you going to take that? So respect. Come on, Lamar, you got to learn. And I know you're a leader, but you have to learn how to talk to people. Derrick Henry is a Hall of Famer. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that. But Derrick Henry is the guy that I think you should be buying low, too. I'm buying low on Derrick Henry. Guys, let people say it's over. Let them say, oh, yeah, it's over, man. He's old. He can't run no more. It's whatever you think. Let them think that, and you go ahead and get Derrick Henry. Because it's going to get cold. And when it gets cold, these big running backs, they start killing. Like, this ain't even running back season. This is wide receiver season right now because it's still warm. When it get cold, when you get in late October going into November into Thanksgiving, that's when these running backs start really, really eating. Go back. That's why I talk about quadrants. Go back, guys, and look at your fantasy leagues from past. And go look at October, November. Well, I would say November and December. Go look at those months and look at the running back numbers compared to the wide receivers. That's why you buy low on Derrick Henry. All right. Another guy is Marvin Harrison Jr. Going forward, they know that you got to throw the ball up. He can go get it. Quit wanting him to be some type of route running Antonio Brown. He's not. He's 6'3", 6'4". He's a tall guy, so it's a little tougher for him to get in and out of his breaks. Same thing with Calvin Johnson. But Calvin Johnson was a lot faster. But Marvin Harrison is going to get better with his routes, but he's a jump ball contestant guy. Throw it up. Throw it up. Pass it. That's the offensive coordinator. Throw it up, bruh. Throw it up high. So Marvin Harrison Jr., guys, that you see, he got it last week with the jump ball. He got one this week, and then they quit throwing him the ball. Just going forward, they're going to make sure they throw him the ball, and they're going to keep throwing him jump balls as long as he's coming down with them. So you want to go ahead and get Marvin Harrison Jr. right now so you can – and then listen, this is what you tell your owner. I mean, the person that got Marvin Harrison, man, that offense is going to fall apart. They gonna fire the coach and all this and that and make them think turmoil is going over there. And then you can get a Marvin Harrison Jr. All right. Few more guys, and then I'm gonna get to the comments, guys. And then we're gonna start. You know, like I said, if you got any questions about any reflections, any players that I told you to start, any players I told you to sit, we can reflect. No hard feelings, guys. We have to hold each other accountable. So I want to be accountable. So if I told you to do something, I can give you context of why, or I can just self-defecate and say, man, I was totally wrong. I'm sorry on that one. We need to do that, right? All right. Next is James Cook. Now listen, it's only a little window because he only had 4 points. He only had 4 points, but hey, that's a window. I love James Cook. I'm going to get James Cook. I'm gonna test people right now. Hey man, hey James Cook, man, that team about to go down. You want James Cook? I'm gonna try you because I'm trying to get James Cook. James Cook to me still looks great. It's just they ran into their little brother that has always been trying to prove something. Now, this isn't a little time since Tom Brady. When Tom Brady was there, they wasn't a little brother. But since Tom Brady left, this team has always played Buffalo good because Buffalo, you know, they got I don't know. I think it's just matchups. It's just a divisional game. And that's why I call it like brotherly love. You ever seen two brothers fight where it can get deadly because it's two brothers and they got something to prove and they always under the same house and so they aggravated with each other, but they love each other? That's what New England and Buffalo is. They know each other. They've been around each other for a long time, and they got something to prove. I got something to prove. I got something to prove. So that's what happens in the NFL. So that's why you have to know that everything, all the top dogs is not going to win all the time. This is football. Football goes like that, even in high school football. So James Cook is still going to be good. He's still going to be great. So go get him if you can. I don't know what it takes to get it. I can ask you to get a consultation. I don't know your league. I don't know what you got. I'm not going to throw out random names. I don't hate throwing out something random just because I'm coming off the top of the head and then I get held accountable for it. And I didn't even mean what I said. I was just trying to think of something. So go get James Cook. And I got a couple of bonus guys for you before we get to the comment section. Appreciate everybody being here. Let's get the likes up. First is A.J. Brown. Great by opportunity. They got to pass the ball. A.J. Brown's going to have some big games. It's like real life, guys. If you was a fly and you were going inside some people's homes that you think like are preachers and they always seem happy, stuff happens, and that's life. The real love is we can do this and then we like this. We can do this and then we like this. So they're going to be fine. They know A.J. Brown. He loves his craft so much. He wants to be great. He wants to be a Hall of Famer. That's why he feel that way. But a lot of you can't understand it. You always want to sit here and point fingers from the back, standing from the crowd, and want to tell people how they should be. Like everybody supposed to be like a little Mary Poppins. These dudes are alpha. Don't you know A.J. Brown is 230 pounds and can run and move? He know what he is. So just like y'all say, well, look at this guy, man. You talking too loud because you ain't got no passion. When you got passion, you care. Titty, don't address the comment section, guys. I care. I want to be great, so I'm going to dress. I don't got no gaslight in me. Same thing with A.J. Brown. He want to be great, so that's okay. So and the coaches know that. So he's going to get his targets. Now, what is he going to be a top 5 wide receiver? No, that's why I didn't draft him. But that doesn't mean he still can't help you win a championship. You can't. Right now, you could buy him, and you basically giving up like a 5th round draft capital for him. That's why I told y'all, don't draft these guys. Don't draft Genty early. Don't draft all these guys super early, because if you might not be able to get that value back. That's what fantasy football is about. Like if you draft a player too early and he's the champion of your team, it could kill you. Like Brian Thomas Jr. You took Brian Thomas Jr. in the 1st round, you might be struggling. Next is R.J. Harvey. It's time to go get these rookies. I told y'all. I done talked about Tootin. I talked about Tootin as a trade target. I'm gonna talk about Harvey, and then Ashton Genty is the next guy I want to talk about. Now I got a couple stash guys that on waivers. I don't got trade talk for them, but these guys are trade talk. R.J. Harvey's been producing behind J.K. Dobbins. So listen, this is what I'm telling you. Go get Ashton Genty. Listen, he's finally going in the passing game now. The running game is not going to be what we wanted to be this year. He might have 900 yards rushing, but he might have 500 or 600 yards receiving because they got to give him the ball out in space. That's why I love to see that wheel route coming out the backfield. So as long as he catching passes, he can make people miss. He's dynamic. So I just wanted to see the ball in his hand. So go get Ashton Genty, guys. You got a Rico Dowdle. And I know people are not going to be super high on Rico Dowdle, but I'm just trying to give you a tier, right? I'm not going to trade no Jonathan Taylor or nobody for him. But some of these running backs who's been kind of like Bucky Irvin, who you heard, shit, let me get Ashton Genty. David Montgomery, let me go get Ashton Genty. I'm not doing it for no James Cook, but other players I will. And like I said, R.J. Harvey, guys, J.K. Dobbins haven't played the 17-game season. He looks good, but if he go down, R.J. Harvey's going to break out, and they might not go back. I don't know. And R.J. Harvey also might have standalone value, too, where you just can play him even though J.K. Dobbins is healthy. They might get to a point where you can just play him kind of like you did with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, when you could just play both of them, and they had standalone value. Okay. So let's get to some of these questions. Father 3 says, this is the exact adversity that Baltimore... Oh, boy. Or you better hush your mouth and quit preaching. That's what life is about. Guess what I needed? I needed people to tell me, TD, you ain't... Man, are you weird? Look at your hairstyle. Okay. Man, you ain't got no studio? Oh, thank you. Then, and y'all know I went through something in my personal life this year. That's people, hey, you're not getting it done, da-da-da-da-da. You more worried about YouTube and da-da-da-da-da. Okay. That's what they told me in football. You're not playing varsity as a freshman? We already got 2 great senior running backs. Okay. So, right now, Baltimore, it's over for you. Lamar, you not I told you, you can't get it done. You collapse when it's clutch. Derrick Henry, you old. John Harbaugh, you need to lead a team, man. You're not raising the team up. I love when people say I can't do nothing. If you want me to see me fail, you got to say, TD, man, you the greatest ever. It's over. You the greatest ever. I'll relax a little bit. But if you say I can't do something, you're going to fail. I promise you. I put that on my son. You're going to fail. So I agree 100%. That's the way I think a lot. Not just using my analytics of the game, but I look at the game that way. I'm from a coach. I was around really good coaches. I coached football. So I understand the nuances of football, of talking and how your team is handling from week to week. And I implement that. I don't implement 3.5. Y'all want the 3.5 sometimes. What a 3.5 this, and Baker Mayfield is throwing at 6.8 yards a target. None of that shit matter. Can he play? What the coaches feel about him? They gonna get him the ball. He says, yeah, the Baltimore, it will make them a better team, right? Conscious says, Ravens' problem is wide receiver and always has been. Flowers is their number 3. I disagree with that, totally. Flowers one of the best wide receivers in the league. He ain't no Jamar Chase. And everybody, like, you gonna tell a girl she ugly because she ain't Halle Berry? Man, she ain't Halle Berry. Shit, man, she cute. She could get married. Zay Flowers is a good player. He can win. He could be a Hall of Famer playing with the Baltimore Ravens. But he is more of a slot guy. But look at JSN. JSN is balling. JSN was a slot guy playing for Ohio State. Everybody said he wasn't an outside wide receiver. He was Sam Darnold. He's balling. I disagree with that. How is he too small? There's been other wide receivers. Steve Smith. And now listen, you can say, well, he ain't Steve Smith. Well, guess what? I'm not Steve Smith. You ain't Steve Smith. You ain't Steve Largent. We all ain't somebody, but he can still do it. If somebody else done it, he can do it. Zay Flowers is one of the best separator of routes. And of course, I knew you was gonna say Steve Smith, because you're gonna say anybody that I bring up, you're gonna say they ain't that. But he's an archetype. So if an archetype did it, he can do it. Zay Flowers is a good player, and that's all I say. Because this is what I say. What is Daniel Jones, Conscious? I want to hear you talk about Daniel Jones right now, and Baker Mayfield. I don't want you to say talk about them as in today. What is Daniel Jones? Because you know what he did with the Giants. You know what Baker Mayfield did with the Carolina Panthers. Baker was a short quarterback too. So that's the thing I would say. Flowers can play, but they got D-Hop. 3 solid wide receivers, great running back, great tight end. Danny has weapons. I see how you is, Conscious. Wow. You gonna find a reason for a person to prosper. Come on, bro. You conscious of it. Bro, he balling because he's balling. It doesn't matter. Just because my father had money and he give me money to start a business doesn't mean that I'm not a good financial man. Everybody life comes like that. Right, but hey, guess what? Anthony Richardson had those people. Gardner Minshew had those guys. Joe Flacco had those guys. Alex says, you got the best bet for tonight's game? Yes, I got Bryant. Well, it ain't the best one, but it's one that I like. I like Brian Thomas Jr. for anytime touchdown. It's a bingo card bet. Hey, he hasn't scored, so he should be scoring soon. What's up, Big Will in the house? But Conscious, you know I love you, bro. I just want you to be true to what you're saying. Yes, you know it, bro. You know it. I just want you to be true to what you're saying. Because I'm not going to let you bounce around and cherry pick this short girl, but this other girl over here short, she ugly. Come on, bruh. If you like one short girl, all short girls are cute. I mean, not all are cute, but all are eligible to be with you, right? If you like one short girl, you can't be a chooser of people, bruh. So Zay Flowers is a short wide receiver, yes, but he still can ball. He's still nice. Cherry picking players just because you like them. Just because you got to be able to say, I don't want no short wide receivers. I never draft them. I would respect it. I would leave it alone. Because you said, no, TD, listen, some of them are good, but I don't draft them because I don't like short. But you can't talk about one short guy just because he's a monster and he'll punch you and knock you out. And then you go to another short wide receiver and say, I don't like him because he's not mean. He don't fight people. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You got to be true. Everybody win differently. Stephen Curry is not Michael Jordan. But guess what? He got 4 or 5 rings. So I'm not going to say Stephen Curry suck, but then I'm going to say that Steve Kerr is good because he can shoot. Like, if I'm going to respect the shooter, I'm going to respect all shooters. Let me see here. Ice Cold Jones said, should I pick up Haskins or Vidal? I would go with Vidal, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. I got a stash video coming out tomorrow. But I would stash Vidal because in full PPR. In standard, I might go Haskins, but I think it's better players out there than Haskins. But in full PPR, I think Vidal can give you some gold like an Imadal Cotto. Hopefully he don't flick the ball out of his hands, but he can score like that with a rushing because he will get a couple rushes, but he's going to also be on third down. Haskins is not a great third down back. Not saying he won't never be out there on third down, but it's going to be more of a Vidal type thing. So, and listen, spend a little bit of fab on these guys. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that now. Like, I would spend 10 to 15% on fab on Vidal. I'm not going to spend a bunch of fab on them. On none of these guys. None of these guys are Amari and Hampton. Adrian says, was offered Pickens and Kyron for CMC. Bucky and Hampton. For CMC, have Bucky and Hampton. Was offered Pickens and Kyron. So you was offered Pickens and Kyron for CMC. I wouldn't do it. I mean, listen. This is the science I'm going to use. You got the best player, one of the best players in the league. Just squeeze all the juice that you can get, and just keep playing CMC until the juice is gone. Right? Something happens. Right? That's how I see it. So I know you trying to maybe get off of a guy, because he's volatile, and you can get Pickens and Kyron, but I don't think Pickens and Kyron is good enough. Kyron's had one boom game. Have Bucky for CMC. Have Bucky and Hampton out. Right. I would stream another running back or get another running back off waivers like a Vidal before I give up CMC. Week 6, my starters currently CMC, Breach, Josh Downs, JSN, Quentin Johnson, Kelsey Flex, White, Franklin. Also have JJ on bye. Okay, you got a nice squad. 4-1, yes sir. So you don't got to make that move. Just go ahead and keep riding with CMC. If you're gonna get rid of CMC, I would go with Cook. If you was gonna get rid of CMC, I would go with Cook and another player. But you got to do it this week if you're gonna try to make that move from Cook. And I think that's a good move because Cook has been more healthier than CMC. But I'm not saying only CMC gonna go down. CMC might play the whole damn year. Tron says, "What up? What up, bruh? Hey, again, moderators. If you see weird comments in the comment section, you are allowed to delete them. Let me know if you can't. If you are a moderator and you can't delete, let me know. But get some of these guys weird comments, get them out of there because I'm like the anchor man. Whatever I see, I'm gonna read." Senor Rojo says, "I'm hoping Travis Hunter can give me at least 10 to 12 points. I'll be happy." I think it can happen. I think it can happen. I'm not saying it's going to be this week. I don't know what week it is, but I think Travis Hunter will get better on the offensive side of the ball. As a top 5 pick, you have to get him going at the wide receiver position. And I think he should be playing both positions full time and just coming out when he's tired. But I don't think that's crazy what you're saying. It's nothing wrong with starting him, especially on this crazy week with all these injuries. Xavier Worthy being nicked up and them still struggling on offense. It shows that he can get that 10 to 12 points. All he needs is a touchdown and a couple targets and maybe a pick or something on defense. Jack says, "You think Worthy plays tonight?" Yes, I do. They said he's going to play tonight. They said that his ankle swelled up on the plane, and so they just want to be precautionary to make sure that they did what they supposed to do. Like, they didn't get in trouble for hiding the injury. Rashid Jameson says, "Amari Hampton on IR, who's the back to trust?" I'm going to say Vidal. But it ain't no... what do you mean trust? That's like saying, you going on Tinder, which girl should I trust? And I'm going to be like, trust? Make sure you don't get killed or robbed? Okay, yeah. But trust, like, you can leave your wallet in your pants or something? No. We ain't trusting none of these guys like Amari Hampton, but trust them so we don't get killed from a Tinder date? Yeah. So you can trust Kamani Vidal in a full PPR league. Thank you, Siobhan. Thank you for deleting that message. Thank you. BT says 4-1 redraft team. Would you pivot from Odunze, or you think he can keep up this pace? I'm not pivoting from Odunze. I think he can keep up the pace. That's one regret. I might do a video and in the middle of the next or after the second quadrant on players that I regret not drafting or regret not being on. And Odunze is one. I liked what I knew he was going to be with Ben Johnson, but I needed to see it, and I've been seeing it. And so now, yes, Odunze is that guy. I'm not getting off of Odunze. I think he can keep up the pace. Adrian says, "Was off at Pickens for Conrad." Okay, we did that one already. Siobhan says, "Picked up Dowdle and dropped Jacory Crosky-Merritt. Should I keep Dowdle and try to get Jacory Crosky-Merritt off waivers? I have to drop Jennings. What do you think, TD?" Yes, it's okay to drop Jennings and go get Jacory Crosky-Merritt, but don't drop Dowdle. Keep using him while Chuba Hubbard is out. I think Chuba might go on IR because you don't want to keep using Chuba and he's not going to be full. Like, he's not going to be full health. He's not practicing. So after what Dowdle did, they can say, well, look, Chuba, don't worry about coming back hurt. Sit out for a couple weeks. And so that's cool with you. But I would try to go get Jacory Crosky-Merritt. And if you got to drop Jennings, you do it. But make sure if Jacory Crosky-Merritt got a good matchup that you can get him in your lineup. You don't want to have Jacory on your team and be like, well, TD, I can't play him over Saquon Barkley, and I can't play him over Derrick Henry, and I can't play him over James. You don't want to be doing that. So if you can't get him in your lineup, no way, form, or fashion, then I wouldn't even pick him up right now. Maybe I might try to do something just to play defense, but you got to be able to make room on your team, and I talk about that. You got to make room on your team for these guys to elevate, and you don't have a tough matchup. The same thing, just kind of look at Ibuka. Let me give you a different scenario. Say Ibuka first game was this week, and you had all these wide receivers on your team like A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson. You would have to trade two of those guys to try to get room for Ibuka. Because you would have to try to play Ibuka over Justin Jefferson or T. Higgins. You don't want to do that. You want to have a role like, hey, if he start balling out, he going right here in my slot. If this tight end start balling out, he going right here in this tight end spot. If this quarterback, if he have a good quadrant, I'm putting him right here in this quarterback spot. That's you got to make room. You don't say, listen, T, I got 3 great quarterbacks. I got Josh Allen, Lamar, and Sam Darnold. Who you think I should play this week? We don't do that here. Okay, so I didn't see that. Why he said you dropped Jacory Cross-Kamara. Conscious Machine says, okay, I'm losing by 6. Okay, he says, I'm losing by 16. Opponent has ETN and Brian Thomas Jr. I have Worthy and Brashard Smith. So you're saying there is a chance? Yes. Worthy can ball out. Worthy's going to be okay. If he's active, he's going to be okay. I needed to see it one game, and he showed that he could play with that shoulder, so I'm good with it. I'm losing by 16. Opponent has ETN and Brian Thomas Jr. Woo! I have Worthy and Brashard Smith, so I'm saying there's a chance. Yeah, Brashard, you need Brashard Smith to go off and get a big-time touchdown. That's how you're going to win this week. Conscious says, I was down Kittle, Bucky, Golden, Pearsall this week. I could really use a miracle, right? And, bro, if you lose this week, it's okay. Hey, Kittle should be coming back next week. That's how fantasy is sometimes. You lose a battle, not the war. Siobhan says, I have Lamb, Buck, Jennings out. Rice suspended. London and Kraft on a bye. Injuries are killing me. Laugh out loud. I won my matchup last night, though. That's what it's about, Siobhan. That's, you know what you just said? This is like saying, hey, listen, and I want to be careful with this, so I'm going to use my life. My daddy just died. The house that I'm staying in, my cousins and stuff, they want me to hurry up and get out of the house. They think I'm trying to take it from them, that they was wheeled into their house. I haven't had a job in 12 years. But guess what? I still got my own place. I still got my own car. I still got my job, and I make good money. And look where I'm at now. But people, they said all of that. So that's how fantasy is. That's why I tell y'all, weather the storm. You're going to be okay. It's not the end of it. The fight is how you fight. It ain't, oh, I'm perfect. Ain't nobody never said anything to me, and I always made $100,000 a year, and my life is this, and my mom and daddy never argue, and they always been together, and we always go on a trip every day, and we tell each other we love each other every night. It don't happen that way. So you take, same thing with fantasy. When you go, oh man, this guy's out, this player's out, I gotta go play this player, I gotta go start this Geno Smith, it's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm like, I play Geno Smith, and I don't have no fear in it. I play Geno Smith in a couple leagues. I don't care. Now, I do have a lot of leagues, so I get that. I want to be fair. But I don't give a damn about that. I had to do what I had to do. If you got to heat your house with a kerosene heater, you can't worry about that. You got to do what you got to do. And that's what you did, Siobhan. Great job. Great job. Shaq Graham says, man, what do I need to do at tight end? Ertz let me down, and that's okay. You had the common denominator. You got Jaden Daniels, who's been killing it with Ertz, who's been a top 3 tight end with Jaden Daniels. Ertz has been doing that. So you made the right play. I played Tommy Tremble in a league. I made the right play. Tommy Tremble's been getting 8 targets each week. This week he didn't get 8 targets, but he missed a touchdown. So you don't let that get you down. You go out next week and make another play. Go look and see what's on waivers. Maybe you might want to sit Zach this week and let it happen again. And maybe you play Mason Taylor or somebody. Maybe you play Isaiah Likely. Maybe you go get Kyle Pitts. Either way, you made the right move, bro. You made the right move. Good job. He says, cutting edge content. I said what I said. Yes, sir, Shaq. I see you, D Lion in the building. Paola in the building. Juan Marino said, what's up, bro? Should I trade Ibuka or keep him? You listen, depends on what you're gonna get for him. If you can trade Ibuka and you can go get a Derrick Henry because you already got a lot of, so you can get Derrick Henry in another piece. Right? And I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just giving you examples. Or you can get Saquon Barkley, who got Saquon Barkley got an injury. He's questionable too. I just want people to know that. I'm not saying he's going to miss any time, but he's questionable. Saquon Barkley. So it depends on who you can get. So this is what I would tell you. Let's do a real life. Say you say, hey TD, hey man, I've been dating Jennifer Lopez, and but Margot Robbie called me yesterday and said that she wanted to go on a dinner date. I'm gonna say, hey, is that leveling up for you? Is that a better candidate from you? I mean, is that your top of the line player? Is that the number 1 player in your fantasy league? If that is, make that move. So if you're gonna give up Ibuka, you got to get the number 1, bro. You ain't taking no tear down or nothing. Like Jamar Chase, Ibuka, Jamar Chase on the same level. Ibuka is second to nobody. Ibuka is second to nobody. Ibuka is a top 5 player in the NFL right now. He's a top 5 player in fantasy football. So if you trade him, there's only 2 or 3 spots that you can go up from, and that's like a CMC, that's like a Josh Allen. It's got to be a top player. He said, I think he's producing and is going to slow down once Evan comes back. Bro, I can't say that no more. I wanted to say that. You can't put that back in the box. I'm going to tell you something, bro. This will be a travesty. If Mike Evans comes back and say Godwin is catching about 5 or 6 passes, but Ibuka's, doing him, he's healthy, and Mike Evans comes back and Ibuka get 4 targets, the whole team gonna go to the coach like, what are you doing? We've been killing with Ibuka. Well, Mike Evans who? Ibuka. We trying to win a champion, and Mike Evans would say, Ibuka? He gonna say Ibuka. He ain't gonna, bro. You can't. This is the NFL. I'm sorry. I don't owe you shit. Ibuka's producing, so we're gonna go with the guy that's producing. So I don't think Mike Evans is gonna slow him down anymore. That's what I would have said. That was like coach speak. Oh, well, I don't get rid of Ibuka. I got rid of Ibuka in 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I was like, hey, well, Mike Evans and Godwin, I was wrong. I think I'm wrong right now. I don't think that he's gonna fade off into oblivion. Sam says, should I trade Derrick Henry? No, don't trade Derrick Henry. You trade for Derrick Henry, stash him. Stash Derrick Henry. Like I said, it's going to get cold. If you go back to the video or the live earlier, I talked about what happens when it gets cold for running backs. Paula said, what's up, bro? I traded Hurts and Nico for Dak, Brian Thomas Jr., and Breach. Then I flipped Brian Thomas Jr. to the last place team in my league for CeeDee Lamb and Rice. Did I win? Yes, you won, Paula. Great job. Great job, bruh. You killed it. Now, Conscious says AR sucks. Now AR sucks. Bro, you said Daniel Jones. I'm going to ask you this, Conscious. Did you ever say Danny Jones suck? Or did you ever say Baker Mayfield suck? That's my whole point right there. That's my point. It's the template that I'm talking about. It's not your opinion. Your opinion is valid, but it's the template. Because 1 minute, like, you can say, well, he ain't a number 1, but what if Zay Flowers goes to a number 1 team? You just gonna say, well, oh, I didn't know. Okay, it's over. He the number 1 there. And like you're doing Danny. Yeah, Daniel Jones is good now, but that's not what I'm talking. Nah, bruh, you got to stay with it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I told people, if you ever say, that's why, man, I rarely have ever said a player suck. There's a couple players, and I feel bad about it. I'm being accountable. I don't like saying nobody suck, man, and then they come back and be great. That's like my motto of my life, and I can't go against that. People have said that I wasn't gonna be shit, that I'm nothing. I can't talk. I'm this, I'm that, and I won at that. So I don't want to do that to nobody else, and I'm gonna overdo it because I don't want to go down like that. That's not my type of shit. Conscious says hit that like button. George says Brian Thomas Jr. comeback stars tonight. I hope so. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Guys, let me tell y'all what's going on. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Let me tell y'all what's going on. Why my lives at this particular spot right here that I'm at. Why it always somebody has a Wi-Fi disturber, and I'm telling you, they hear me out here talking. They hate. I'm telling you, this shit is crazy. Somebody I start looking at my Wi-Fi symbol and it goes away, and I'm like, why the hell my Wi-Fi symbol go away? Ricky Bobby says, preach, TD, preach. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm telling you, somebody got one of these Wi-Fi blockers. Guys, put it in the comment section. What is this called? Is there things that people can do to like interrupt anybody that got Wi-Fi? I just feel like that's going on. Maybe I'm talking crazy. Sam says, yo, I asked for your advice on my team on Saturday and you got me 170, 130 win. Okay, what was that, Sam? What did you ask me? What did you ask me, Sam? Because I'm not always right, man. I'm always gonna stick to my guns by playing your studs. You know, most of the time you should know what I'm gonna say. Most of the time. But yeah, Sam, tell me, what did you what was that advice? What was that advice? Gunner says, I'm saying Flowers cannot lead a team as a wide receiver. I get it. You're right. As a smaller wide receiver, I get it. But I think he can in today's NFL. In today's NFL, I really think that he could be a leader in the team in targets and touchdowns and catches. Now, is that what you're saying? Probably not. You mean like if I'm going up against Jalen Ramsey, can Zay Flowers make a play against Jalen Ramsey? That's going to your point. No, he's probably not the guy that you want on the line up on the outside going against a young Jalen Ramsey or a young Pat Surtain. So I get it. But if you use him correctly, he can win the game at his way. That's what I would say. I'm not going to ask him to run a fade or a jump ball route against a Pat Surtain, but I would say, well, Pat Surtain, come in here in the middle and watch him, and he'll eat you up. That's what I would say. Let's see. All right, guys, somebody keep calling me. Okay. Jordan says, and that Bashard Smith breakout too. King Justin says, I had high hopes that Williams would have a breakout against the Bengals. Who you talking about? Oh, Jamison Williams. Me too. Me too, bro. That's what I want to talk about. Listen, guys, I'm gonna tell y'all about Jamison Williams. Let me tell you about Jamison Williams. You have to keep playing him. If you drop him, it's gonna be bad value. Now, if you got him like 4th or 5th round and you got good wide receivers, you can move on from him. Me, I'm a type where I'm not gonna give up my cookies. I'm not gonna get out of a relationship just because it's a tough time if I believe in that person. I believe in Jamison because of the offense, because of Jared Goff, because of other situations on the team. This is a great team, but it's not happening. So to me, you can take him out of your lineup, but I would not drop him. You don't want nobody to come and scoop up your girl that you said talk shit about. He told everybody that he told everybody that your girl, hey, she ain't shit, man. She don't do this. And then somebody else come and scoop her up, and they have a great time. They have a great family. They go on to get married and live happily ever after. That's what I don't want to happen to Jamison Williams, because he is on a team that is great. It ain't like he's on the Bengals. So I like Jamison Williams over T. Higgins, who I would think that he would be getting really good targets, but it's not happening. So I would rather hold on to Jamison Williams for when he get going. Hopefully it's sooner than later, but I will hold on to him. But guys, that's one of the guys that I've missed so far is Jamison Williams. And I have to go and reflect to myself and like, man, I talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown not drafting him. And y'all know I love Amon-Ra. So I apologize to everybody that I told to draft Jamison. And listen, I still can hit. Jameson can have 2 or 3 really big games and end up being a top 24 wide receiver. But right now, that's one of my misses so far for my hit rate for 70%. Jamison Williams. He said, but King Justin says, I had high hopes that Williams would have a breakout against the Bengals defense, but that didn't even come close to happening. Perhaps the loss of Ben Johnson has had major impacts on Williams. I don't think it's about Ben Johnson. I think they just haven't learned how to get him the ball. I don't think he's a route runner. I think he's a speed guy, and they got to find out how to get him the ball with his speed, because he has elite speed. Wayne says, do you like Rico again this week? Yep, you got to keep using him. You got to go back to that well again. Mini X Flowers says, start Worthy or Smith-Schuster. I'm starting Worthy. D-Lion says, uh-oh, what's popping? Says his name. You know it, D-Lion. I ain't heard you say anything about it, D-Lion. How do you feel about Daniel Jones? You keep saying I'm saying his name. How do you feel about his name? Because you the one told me, TD, Daniel Jones is over for you. So I want to know, how do you feel? You haven't addressed it. You haven't said, hey, Daniel Jones is doing this. How do you feel about the situation, the guy that sucks? I want to hear you say something about him, D-Lion. Uh, King Justin says eventually Bryce Young is going to find McMillan in the end zone. He's been too good for not to happen. He's one of my favorite buy lows in fantasy right now. I like that. I actually like that Ted buy low. Hey, I will be adding that to my list. That's a great job, King Justin. Ted is one. Because things will change. The only thing that keeps me from going there, man, is Bryce. Like, I want to see Bryce get better. Then I can go to his weapons and know that the residual effect from that is going to happen to Ted and Jimmy Horn and these guys. But I need to see a little bit more. But you are right, man. You cutting edge. That's cutting edge content, King Justin. That's cutting edge content. NY says, with Antonio Gibson now out for the season, Henderson could see more touches. But do you think Stevenson will continue to dominate the red zone usage? No. I think he may continue to dominate it for this quadrant, but eventually I believe Travion Henderson will move into this role. You see, New England is trying to win. They're trying to go to the playoffs. So they got to use Travion Henderson. So he's the guy that you got to keep stashed on your team because his time is coming, especially with the Antonio Gibson injury. And then they need somebody for kickoff return and stuff. So that's Travion's role. Conji says, I really hope the Chiefs let Bashard get nasty tonight. Me too, bro. Because I got him stashed on a few dynasty teams. BT says, thanks, TD, anytime. Siobhan says, thank you, TD, anytime, girl. NY says, Christian Watson has been designated to return from the prep list and back at practice. Are you stashing? Yes, I'm stashing. I don't turn nothing down but my collar. But do I think he has a real good role where you can start him this year? No, I do not. D Tate in the building. What's up, D Tate? What's good, bruh? Let me see here. So D-Lion, so tell me about Daniel Jones. I want to hear you talk. What do you think about him? Do you think he still sucks, or what's going on with Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold? Conscious said, I'm looking at Watson. I already have gold, and Watson is very boom or bust. Yankee says someone dropped Sharp and Jacory Krosky-Murray. I have Chuba, but like you said, he may go on our show. Should I put a waiver for Sharp or Jacory Krosky-Murray easily over Sharp? I will go after Jacory Krosky-Murray. D Tate says Worthy is out. Wow, that's gonna kill me in some leagues. Wow, that makes this game be very different. Thank you for letting me know that, D Tate. Worthy is out. Wow, they said it's his ankle injury that he still should play. Wow. Thank you for the news, D Tate. D-Lion says, my Dak, Pickens, and Stroud Nico stacks won me these last 2 weeks. Not too bad for my 7th, 8th round quarterback. Right. With Dak, yeah, and Stroud. Right. People wasn't that high on Stroud this year and Dak, but I love Dak this year. So I get what you're saying. Good job, bro. Hopefully Stroud and Nico can keep it going because I need them to. Jimmy says the Kansas City backfield could use more juice, and perhaps Rashard Smith can provide it. Smith has 4.39 speed and pass catching ability. Okay. Good information, Jimmy. Siobhan says, I got Baker, Dowdle, Marks, Ibuka, Debo, RJ Harvey, Waller, Bucks D, and Prater. I'll be good when my players get healthy. Right. You still got good guys that's good now, even though everybody's not healthy. Yankee says, if I pick up either Sharp or Jacory Krosky-Murray, should I start them over Rashard White for week 6? No. And right now, I don't know the matchup for Tampa Bay, but I wouldn't start none of those guys over Rashard White. At the way, man, unless the matchup was really, really tough. And I don't know if there's a matchup where I want to start him because he got all the boatload of the carries, and they won. Chris says Brian Robinson Jr. is a stash, right? And I got him. I got the stash video coming out. Christian McCaffrey has been carrying enormous load for the 49ers early this season, right? And anything can happen. Siobhan says Ibuka is ranked number 3 right now, right? And I'm not just talking about wide receivers. I'm talking about all of fantasy. Ibuka is a top 5 player if you ask me in fantasy. That doesn't mean you just go to let's put the points in and see who comes up top 5. No. You got to go off potential and how they getting used and all that. And Ibuka, man, he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. Uh, Carmelide says you should live fantasy already. Leave fantasy already. Thinking Ibuka gonna be whacked soon. I don't know what that means. You shouldn't live fantasy already. Thinking Ibuka gonna be whacked. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yankee says thought Ellick would have a better production against Arizona and they won that game. That's how fantasy goes. But it was really they had a good game. Should I drop Ellick for Luther? I can pick up Luther or tonight before the waivers. Yeah, man, you can make that move. Ellick and Luther. I still think Ellick gonna be fine. He's gonna get more targets as the season goes on. It's all about Cam Ward getting better as a passer, right? He's not as crisp as he should be, but he's getting better. But going to get Luther, who is with Caleb Williams, who's gonna be having some big games. Yes, I would go and make that move. I get exactly what you're saying. Even though I like Ellick, but you're going to get Luther Burden, who I think can have some big games going forward with Caleb Williams. I can pick up Luther up tonight before waivers. Yes, I would do that. Jay Moore says, man, I lost Hampton to our. I have Rico and Carter. Thoughts? Yes, Hampton going to be out for 4 weeks. You keep playing with Rico. Sorry, guys, somebody called me. So you keep playing Rico while Chuba is out, and you keep playing Carter. We ain't got to worry about Imadama Mercado no more. So keep playing Rico and Carter, and just weather the storm, man. That's all it is to do, bro. It's simple, you know. I understand we lose players. I lost some players, but man. Great job with Rico. Great job with Rico. That was a middle of a week pickup too. Jay Moore says, I also dropped Ja'Cory Krosky married weeks ago. Sick about it, but have to move forward. No, man, don't be sick about it. That's what I'm here for. Don't be sick about it. You can't be. That's like saying, are you sick about it, about a girl that you broke up with 10 years ago? Because actually she didn't do anything wrong and you were just being a pain in the ass? No, you like, hey, that shit over with. I'm good. I'm still gonna win. And I get that's what you are saying, but don't even feel sick about it because you got to make the move. It ain't like Ja'Cory Krosky went off and then you say, you know what, I'm gonna drop him. That's when you should be sick because that's a dumbass move. But you dropping Ja'Cory Krosky a couple of weeks ago is not no dumb move, bro. You got to do what you got to do to win. Yeah, if you dropped them just because you dropped them because you didn't like them, that's on you. But you dropped them because you probably had to pick up somebody because you had to start them. Now, if you drop, that's why I never drop nobody just to drop them because I don't like what they did yesterday. No. And if you dropped them for that, yeah, you should be mad and you should be sick. But if you dropped them to make a move, don't worry about it. Mobley says, I'm 3-2 this week. Was bad. Had DK and the Doomsday on bye. CD Lamb and Kittle hurt, trying to stay afloat. Just found your channel. You on point. Keep doing your great content. Thank you, bruh. Thank you, Mobley. Jimmy says, resist the temptation to bail out on Marks after the disappointing performance. And we just talked about that. If you got to drop Marks because you need to start somebody to say you can win so you don't miss the playoffs, yeah. But do not drop no Marks. That ain't had nothing to do with Marks. That was game script. And Nick Chubb happened to end up scoring. So that's game script. They didn't want to waste Marks. They up by 30-some points. They put him on the bench because you lose Marks. They ain't got no player that can boom like Marks. They don't got nobody with that type of speed and ability. So they didn't want to use them. They was like, well, let Nick Chubb get hurt or whatever. It's okay. We don't want Marks to get hurt. So that's game script. So I love what you said, Jimmy. Jimmy, hey, bro, you know your shit, man. You're very, very intelligent. Very, very, and I don't mean that to disrespect anybody because y'all all are intelligent. But Jimmy he be hitting with his comments. He don't always agree with me, but I always like his perspective. Tron said, would you trade Olave and McLaurin for London? Yes, I would. Or should I offer Olave and Cup? Whatever Olave or Cup or Olave or McLaurin, it doesn't matter to get that London. My wide receivers are DK, Olave, Devontae Smith, McLaurin, Cup, Travis Hunter. Yes, you do need London. So I would give up any of those guys to get London to consolidate and get some real true firepower. Tron says, who's the better stash, Brashard Smith or Tajay Spears? I'm going to go with Brashard Smith because it's on a better team. I don't want nothing off that Tennessee team. I don't want nothing from them, man. You ever been to a bad strip club? Be like, man, I don't want to look at nothing in there. I'm good, bro. It don't even smell right in there. I've been to guys. The first time I went to a strip club, it smelled like feet and butt. As soon as I went in there. Now listen, the women didn't smell like that. The women was beautiful and they smelled like roses and baby powder and whatever fragrances. But as soon as I got in that strip club, man, I smelled butt and I said, bruh, I ain't throwing no money. You see this wide nose guys, I can pick up some sense. And I ain't throwing no money when it smelled like that. So, bruh, I'm going with Brashad Smith because it's a better team. And you can see that they phasing out Kareem Hunt and phasing out Isaiah Pacheco. Yankee says start with Rashad White or Hendo. I'm starting with Rashad White. He's a must start. He's a top 12 back going forward while Bucky's out. John Parham says call the Pats and Broncos upset. I'm saying Jaguars tonight. Yes. Great job, John. Salute to you, bruh. NY says Gabriel played well in his first NFL start. He had 190 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Do you like him? Replacement for injured Lamar? No, I don't. I think you should be able to get somebody better. But if you had to play him, listen, it doesn't matter, man. If you got to do what you got to do. So if you have to play him, that's fine. But I don't think he's going to just have 2 touchdowns and play a clean game like that every single week. D-Lion says, not this week. Steelers pass rush about to kill Gabriel this week. Pittsburgh defense getting 10 turnovers. I'm still waiting till you. Okay. All right, here go D-Lion. He said, never said he sucked. I'll roll with you that year. Okay. I just like messing. I know, bruh. We all good. That's what we messing with each other. You know it. Pause. He keeping me alive and chopped this year. Say his name. Right, bruh. I know. You know it. Yes, sir. I thought you said he sucked, though. But maybe you didn't. Maybe you just said, Tita, don't say his name, because I said I wasn't going to say his name no more for the rest of my career. Power says Worthy isn't out. Come on, guys, with the fake news. Come on now. Thank you for telling me that, Powers. Worthy isn't out. He's questionable, but trending towards playing probably on a limited snap count, though. I don't know if we thought it was going to be a limited snap count last week, and it wasn't. Now, listen, I got to read more into it and see what's going on. Yankee says, can you rank the following priority? Rico, Jacory, Cross-Camara, Charbonnet, Rashad. Yes. I'm going to go with Rico, Rashad, Jacory, Cross-Camara, and Charbonnet. But all those are in vacuums. Once everybody's returned, Jacory, Cross-Camara is going to be on the top of that list. And that's what makes him probably a little bit more dangerous. And I mean in a good way, where he's a better probably stash. Because once everybody gets back, he's still going to be the starter. Rico is going to be sharing a workload with Chuba. Charbonnet is sharing a workload with Kenneth Walker. Rashad White will be sharing with Bucky. Jacory Crossley will not be sharing with no Chris Rodriguez. So that's what I want to tell you. But right now in a vacuum, I ranked them the way I did. Tron said Xavier has not been ruled out. Okay, thank you guys. Power said, should I trade Derrick Henry away? No. NY says the change at quarterback from Joe Flacco to Dillon might have turned Njoku fantasy season around. Preach, NY. Preach. King Justin says it's only a matter of time until Waller misses time with an injury. Would you sell high? Yes, it depends on what I get. I got to get something nice for him, but I like where you're going with that. Travis Kelce or Darren Waller. Rome says laughing my ass off. Killer Cuz says Travis Kelce or Darren Waller. I'm going to go with Darren Waller while he's healthy. CK says, what's good? Checking in from Vancouver. What's going on, CK? Killer Cuz says, should I drop Kelce for him? No. Siobhan says, Coach Kicker season ending knee injury. I saw that. And CK says, trade offer. My Junkins for Ibuka. If you're not starting Junkins, if Junkins is in the flex and you need wide receiver help, yes. But you got to make sure you need wide receiver help. Don't be doing it because I want Ibuka because I want Ibuka. That's like a man saying, man, I want to be with that girl because I just want to be with. I want to be with all the girls. Like, bro, you grown and you talking like that. Like, some things, yeah, I get it. But I'm not just going to go be hard up for the next thing that's booming, right? I'm not going to be hard up for a girl just because she's coming around, she smells good, and everybody on her. No, bro, I'm going to go after my own taste according to what I need. So if you need Ibuka because he's going to help your team get better because you're going to start him every single week because you're weak at the wide receiver position, and Junkins, you got plenty of running back depth, and Junkins is your third best RB, yeah. But don't be trading Junkins as your number one RB for a number one wide receiver just to get Ibuka. No, don't do that. King Justin says Alvin Kamara might need a trade to revive his fantasy value. I agree with that. I keep thinking Kansas City. We think Kansas City every time is an offensive player available to be traded. Siobhan says, I don't see Worthy out either. Okay. And B Silver says, Jamar and JJ redeemed. Yes, they did redeem their fantasy value, but hey, that happens. That's why you got to keep rolling out your studs. That's why I say I would never, ever sit my stars. Never, ever. Until I see something that's concrete. Power says, do you think Chris Godwin has any upside? Not right now. He's coming through that injury. He's going to get the targets, but we need to wait and see a good game before we play him again. Yankee says, just checked out your top 12 quarterbacks. I feel better about keeping and starting Bo Nix. He has some favorable matchups coming up and hoping he can blow up like he did versus the Bengals. There you go. CK said, thanks, man. You're the reason I'm 4-1. Thank you, CK. B Silver said, what do the Chargers do with the running back situation, and who do we pick up out of that backfield? Kamani Vidal, full PPR. I talked about it earlier in the video, in the live. You pick up Kamani because he's the guy who's going to be catching the passes. And, this team throws a lot. And he can get a carry like an Ema Dambacado, even though he's the third down back. But they still can bust long plays. So I would go with Kamani Vidal over Hassan Haskins, who's just a back that's trying to run in a cloud of dust. He may get a goal line touchdown, but the PPR guy makes me feel safer. King Justin says, how do you feel about Justin Fields in the second quadrant? I didn't see him in your list. Bruh. He's a trap guy. He's scoring great in garbage time, but he's not winning the games, and so he could end up getting benched and putting up big fantasy numbers. That's what happened in Chicago. Y'all remember that year that it wasn't that first year that he broke out, but that second year he was putting up a lot of points, like 30 points, 28 points, but they was getting their ass whooped, and that's why they got rid of him. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I just don't want a guy that I can't count on every single week because they losing. So I don't got him in my video. Power says, who do I get for anytime touchdown tonight's game? I'm going with Brian Thomas Jr. That's just me. I'm not because I believe it and it's going to happen. It's time for it to happen. Yankee says, does Hampton injury raise Ladd's potential? Yes, for the short passes, because it's the offensive line that raises Ladd potential. They can't. That's why Justin Fields is getting sacked. They got to get the ball out quick, and that's for Ladd and Keenan Allen. Ladd and Keenan Allen is the guys. Quentin Johnson, I would try to get off of him if I could. If not, then it's fine just to keep rolling them out there. Yankee says, Kincaid has been blowing up. Thanks for talking me into keeping him. Yes, and I'm telling you, it's all about Josh Allen. It has nothing to do with Kincaid. Has nothing to do with Kincaid. Sometimes y'all think, well, why are you on this guy? But it's because of what he is attached to. I would not be drafting no Derrick Henry if he wasn't attached to Lamar Jackson. I would not be saying to Conscious Machine that Zay is a top player if he wasn't attached to Lamar Jackson. Perfect Black says, thoughts on Travis Hunter as a wide receiver. Hey, listen, man. Just if you got him in your put him in your lineup if you can. Ain't nothing else to say. That's between him and the coaches. They got to get this guy good targets. But if you got him on your team, man, I think it's not a bad move to put him in your lineup, depending on who it is. Say right now you got Jalen Tolbert. Say Dak Prescott was playing. It was 2 games tonight. And say Jalen Tolbert was out there on waivers and you had Travis Hunter. I'm going with Travis Hunter. The main reason Jalen Tolbert just gave me a 0. So now, man, I think Travis Hunter is in there with some of these guys like he's over Tutu Atwell, over Calvin Ridley. I would play Travis Hunter over Calvin Ridley. So hopefully that gives you context. Because he got upside, he got potential. They still trying to figure out what they're gonna do. So that gives more value to the Jacksonville Jaguars because they still trying to figure out their target share. Where if you go to Calvin Ridley, like they ain't trying to figure out no target share. It's just you got a bad offense with a young quarterback and he just chucking it around. But Travis Hunter, I think something can come out of that because they drafted him so early. Rumors of the Steelers looking to make a wide receiver move before the deadline said it was supposed to be Hill, right? But he gone. Anybody you think? I'm trying to think, guys. DJ Moore. I can see DJ Moore going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got Strain. He has Hunter. I'm up for hope to be 4-1. Okay. I doubt he'll produce. Yankees has picked up Denver D and will drop Detroit. Thanks, TD, for Detroit D recommendation. You have been spot on. What do you think of Denver D versus the Jets? I like Denver D versus the Jets. But garbage time worries me. You can lose your defensive output because of the garbage time. And Justin Fields is the, you don't want to go against him in garbage time. He's one of the best garbage time quarterbacks in the whole league. So he's always going to put up fantasy numbers. Giants and Dallas for the next. Denver thinks they got Jets, Giants, and Dallas. So yeah, you want to keep Denver, even though it's gonna be tough against Dallas. But Denver, one of those defense, man, they just a good defense. Sometimes you just got to play them against tough matchups. B Silver said, what happened to the Bills and Pats game last night? Was hoping that James Cook, Shakir, and Josh Allen would go off. Lost 3 of the 4 leagues. Right, I lost with James Cook in a couple of leagues too, but it's okay, bro. It's another week coming. You're not. It's hard to go undefeated in fantasy, so you'll be okay. Perfect Black says, D-Line King hoping for a TD. Tariq says, what is the best bet for the night? Brian Thomas Jr., anytime touchdown is what I'm going with. NY says, Rico Dowdle came up pointing at his knee and having trouble bearing weight. Are you also stashing Trevor Etienne? No, I think you could go to somebody else better than Trevor Etienne. But who knows, if we get there on Sunday morning or Saturday and we need to have a player, shit, I'll pick up anybody if I need to start somebody, right? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all guys be safe. See y'all later. Peace.